Special thanks to everyone that came out Saturday. Thought it was a great environment and beautiful day. A lot of fun. You know, we did sustain an injury there with Divine Diablo. He'll be out for the year. We'll have him back, and he'll get rehabbed and be ready to go for the spring and into next season. So, as you guys have seen, move Ladler into that spot. In his time, he's done a good job and continues to improve. So we'll continue to move forward with that. We'll continue to evaluate Adonis' situation for this week. If there's any change, be sure to make that announcement. It's obviously a fun week this week in terms of all the things going on outside of the football game. With College Game Day coming here, I'm sure Virginia Tech will do a fantastic job welcoming them and provide a great environment. We'll do a great job. Great opportunity for us to show off our community and school. You know, our responsibility is the game and preparing for a very talented Clemson football team, defending national champions. It is our first conference game, and we put the non-conference schedule behind us. We've got two conference games here and then a bye. We've really talked about kind of resetting everything and getting ready for conference play. You know, this is just our first conference game. I mean, I know that it is a big stage. There's a lot of things that come with that, but you know, it's the beginning of our conference play, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Raise your hand. We'll get you a microphone for questions for Coach.
You talked this summer about how that Clemson loss still kind of stuck with you, even that many months later. Do you get the sense from your players that any of them took it that hard as well, or are you a unique case?
I don't know. I haven't asked them. We haven't talked about it. You know, we won't talk about it. I think everybody handles those things differently and on an individual basis. You know, that was last year. My message to our team is that was last year's team, last year's Virginia Tech team versus last year's Clemson team. This is a completely different situation. We've got guys that played in that game that are no longer here, and so do they. So we won't use it as a reference point for this week.
Coach, what impact, if any, does College Game Day have on your team or this weekend at all for you guys?
I mean, I think it's great that they're coming to our school. I think it's but what effect does it have on our team? None. I mean, we'll be in the hotel in Roanoke. So we've got to get prepared for the game, and it's a late kickoff, and we're going to handle all day Saturday without playing till late at night.
Well,
just when you look at Brent Venables' coordinated defense, are there certain characteristics about him and his style that stand out?
Well, I think the first thing that stands out is their talent level. It's just on the defensive line, you know, it's pretty exceptional. They're attacking, you know, they're not a sit back and just try and keep the ball in front of you type defense. And it's been my experience with him, which it is limited, that they've been an attacking defense for some time. So they force turnovers, try to backfield, penetrate on the defensive line. It's not a read and react type situation. It's a pin your ears back and try and create havoc.
Coach, as you mentioned, this game will have a big audience. What is your policy going to be regarding your players kneeling during the national anthem?
Well, we'll be in the locker room. So, I mean, we're never on the field for the national anthem, so it's not really an issue for us.
raise your hands. We'll get you a mic. Questions for Coach?
Just in terms of team rankings, this game will be one of the biggest in Lane just in the last several years. Do you see any kind of bigger meaning in this game for the program as a whole?
No, I see it as our first conference game. I mean, I know it's highly ranked and a big stage and all those sorts of things, but I see it as our first conference game against the defending national champions in our place. You know, I mean, we're in our second year here. We've had one recruiting class. I think Coach Sweeney's in his 8th or 9th year, maybe something like that. And obviously, they've been very accomplished, not just the last couple of years, but the last several years. And it'll be a great opportunity for us to play a fantastic football team. So, you know, other than that, that's about the context I see with it.
Justin, I think everyone thinks you've looked pretty good as a team. I know you look at everything a lot closer than we do. Are there some things, or what would be some things that maybe you've gotten away with here in the opening 4 games that maybe you wouldn't be able to against Clemson?
Well, you're not going to get away with much of anything. I mean, you make a mistake, they're gonna make you pay. I mean, there have been some things here and there on defense, some things in special teams, and some things offensively that you know, we'll, if we make those mistakes, or really even, you don't even have to make a mistake. You can take one step in the wrong direction, you know, or hesitate for a half a step when you're playing the type of talent that we're going to go up to. It's like diffusing a bomb, like one small snip of the wire that's incorrect, and boom, you know, you blow your hands off. And that's just how talented and how good they are. And so, I mean, making sure that we're on point with everything we're doing, crystal clear in our directives and our assignment, being able to play well, because everything will be difficult. A first down will be difficult. A defensive stop will be difficult. Punting the ball and covering the punt will be difficult. It's just all amplified. I'm not exactly answering your question, and I apologize, but it's, you know, every step you take is amplified when you play talent like this.
Kelly Bryant is obviously a guy that's had to wait his turn a little bit. Pretty well groomed. When you look at him, he's a guy that probably runs better than was originally advertised. Are there things that are distinctive about his game at all?
Well, the one thing that I don't know the young man, but I think it's neat that we've got a kid that waited his turn, was behind a fantastic player, and practiced, I'm assuming, every day, continued to develop his craft, was behind maybe the best quarterback in college football for a couple years there. And now has his chance to play and shine. And you know, in today's instant gratification society, we don't see that enough, in my opinion. So I think it speaks volumes about him. And now he's getting his chance. And the thing that I notice about him, while he's an accomplished passer, he obviously understands what they're doing. You know, it seems to me, while it's his first year playing, I think he has quite a few reps under his belt. And he's a big physical presence out there. I mean, this is a big, strong runner, and you know, 220-pound athlete back there that, when he does want to run the ball, falls forward. So, can pose a tremendous problem for us.
You guys have allowed 4 sacks in 4 games and faced a pretty good pass rush last week against ODU. This is obviously a step up in competition. What does Clemson do so well up front? Is it just talent from those guys, and how big is it for the offensive line, protection-wise this week?
Well, I would stop saying it's just talent. I mean, were well coached and disciplined and all those sorts of things, but you don't have the success they've had without those things. But the size and power jumps out at you. There's the sheer. I mean, they've got almost an embarrassment of riches over there on the defensive line. I know some of the guys that they've recruited, and they're not on the 2 deep. I mean, they've just really talented. So, you know, there's an element of an attacking style. There's an element of fundamentals and power, and then they do a great job scheme-wise. You know, you don't want to get behind the chains on these guys. They'll scheme you up from a blitz standpoint and from a pure rush standpoint, and dropping guys into coverage.
What did you see on JJ's interception? Obviously, he's done a really good job taking care of the ball this year. What has he done to take care of the ball so well outside of obviously that play?
What did I see on his interception? I think maybe he assumed a little too much on the play. I mean, we've done that deal several times. I think he assumed the alley player was going to buzz, and he didn't buzz, and he was right underneath it. I've seen him value the football. I think there's an element of understanding in real time out there with him. He understands how important that is. He's very coachable and listens. These guys will certainly put that to the test with the pressure they can put on the quarterback position. But he's been really efficient in terms of securing the ball.
Anybody else for Coach?
How well has Vinny kind of adapted to playing part of his time at defensive tackle so far?
Vin's done a great job. I'm really proud of him. I kind of made a point in front of the team the other day. In the East Carolina game, the game's out of hand. Our second-team offense is on the field, and AJ has a run around the edge and gets tackled over there by our sideline, and there's one guy over there yelling and screaming and pulling him up and genuinely excited for the second-team offense, and that's Vinny Mahota. I think that was a great example of Virginia Tech football, of selflessness and what we're trying to get across. So when it comes to Vinny moving inside or playing outside, he's going to do whatever it takes to give us a chance to be successful. He's handled that movement very well. He's highly intelligent and can handle that sort of stuff. He understands the big picture in terms of scheme and has the physical skill set to do either one.
You mentioned kind of the sequestering in Roanoke. I'm curious what that, in a game like this, when you're driving in and you're seeing all the fanfare and everything, what's that like for you, and what do you think it's like for your players?
Well, I think the thing that hits you is you go all week practicing and preparing, and there's nobody at practice, there's nobody around. You hear about all of the excitement, but I think that's when you pull into town, it's your first chance to actually get some perspective on it. When you pull in, and it's the same on the road too. If you're playing on the road in a big game and you see the tents and the RVs and people everywhere, and it's like the first realization that there is all this talk was about something, that there really are people behind the chatter and the excitement of the game, and and that's a neat thing. It's fun to work at a place. I've said this before, I'll say it again. It's fun to work at a place where people value the hard work our kids put in and show their support to them by showing up and cheering them on. The same thing is, though, we'll have to get prepared for the game, regardless of how many people are there or how many television sets are tuned in. We can let those people worry about that. We've got enough to worry about with the Clemson Tigers.
Last one.
Coach, how do you handle the increased national attention and distractions that come with such a big game, such a game of this magnitude?
Well, Pete's going to do a great job eliminating a bunch of them. But it'll be business as usual for us. We shouldn't change our schedule or our focus because of those things. I'm a firm believer in the process and routine, regardless of the opponent or the stage, and that's just been my message. We're playing a great football team. Don't get me wrong, but the game is the same. It's the stage that's different, and the stage is not our responsibility. So our job is to worry about ourselves and get ourselves prepared to play.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Be a few minutes early tomorrow. I know I said one on the schedule, but we